I'm going to walk you through some of the operations on calculator pages. So to begin, let's get a calculator page. So hit the home key and then click new. And then number one is add calculator. And now we have a nice new calculator page to work on. Notice on the calculator, if we press the control key, we will gain access to the functions denoted in blue above each of the keys. So you just press control, you don't have to hold it, and that will give you an optional function for each key. So let's do some basic operations. So let's try to do 5 squared plus 12 squared. So I'm going to click 5, and then I can hit x squared to square it, and then the plus key, and then 12. Instead of x squared as an alternative, I can use the caret to put something in an exponent, and then 2, and then go ahead and enter. And we get 169, just like it shows in the packet. Let's try another one. Let's do add two fractions. So I want to add 1/2. So I can type 1 divided by 2 plus 1/3, 1 divided by 3, and then hit enter. And cool, what happened? The calculator converted these into fractions using math type. So we have 1/2 plus 1/3 is 5/6. We don't have that sort of ugly notation where we're not seeing nice fractions. So as an alternative to the way I entered that, and what I recommend you doing with fractions is get the fraction template. So you can click control and divide, and you'll see now we get this nice fraction template. Let's do the same computation again. So we're in the numerator, I'll put 1. Actually, I'm going to do a different calculation. I'm going to do 5 divided by the sum of 3 plus 2, and then I'll hit enter. And that turns out to be 1, which you should be able to compute on your own. But this math print is a really nice feature of the TI nSpire. It avoids a lot of errors. If you were to type, say, something like 5 divided by 3 plus 2, by word of operations, that would mean we're doing 5/3 plus 2, which is a completely different computation than the one that we just did. Notice that the TI nSpire gives exact answers. So 1/2 plus 1/3 is 5/6. Well, what if we want a decimal approximation? So let's try the same calculation again. So I'll do control divide. I'll get my template. I'll do 1, and then I'll go into the denominator, type 2, plus control divide. 1/3, so 1/2 plus 1/3. But if I want a decimal approximation, I can click control. That will give me these blue keys, that functionality, and hit enter. Notice this is a squiggly equal sign, which is an approximation. And now if I hit enter, I get a decimal approximation, which is 0.83 repeating. As an alternative to using control enter, I can also just put a decimal point somewhere in one of the numbers, and that will give me a decimal approximation. So let's try this again. Control divide. I'll get the template. And now I'll go ahead and do 1 in the numerator. Oops, I lost my computation. So let's go back, delete that. Control divide. And now I'll put 1 in the numerator. And in the denominator, I'll type 2 period. And by putting that decimal in, now the calculator will automatically make a decimal approximation. So I'll do plus, and now I want to add 1/3. And you just need 1 decimal, so there's no reason to type a decimal point in the numbers on the second fraction. I'll hit enter, and once again, we get a decimal approximation. Well, actually, that computation went through twice. And let's try one last thing. Let's say if we want to convert from a decimal back to a fraction, so approximate a fraction, I can go ahead and I can use the up arrow that will highlight 0.8333. If I just hit enter, that will paste it. You can also use pop and copy paste like Control C and Control V as you would on a computer. And now, once we have that number, I'm going to hit menu and then number. And from here, we have number 2 says approximate to fraction. And if we hit that and then do enter, we get back that this number, 0.833333, approximated to a fraction, is 5/6.